Jeez, it's been a while, hasn't it? Hi, my name is Josh, and I made a video that y'all apparently really liked. And I like guitars, so I figured might as well make another video about guitar stuff. So today I'm going to be talking about whatever you call it, whammy bars, vibrolas, wiggle sticks, tremolos. I'm going to be talking about things that tried to compete, or license, the Floyd Rose. Alright, let's talk about the Steinberg Transtrap. It's most famously used by Eddie Van Halen and Alan Holdsworth. The little special thing about the Steinberg Transtrap is that, one, it's meant for headless guitars, two, you can transpose the guitar's entire pitch with it, not just one note, and three, you can lock the bridge into place when you transpose it. However, it requires custom double ball-end strings, and to my knowledge, the Transtrap isn't really made anymore. Also, the double ball-end strings are only made by a couple manufacturers. I think Steinberger themselves, Diodario, and Labella. So yeah, if you're an Ernie Ball fan, you can't really get strings for your Steinberger. Gibson, who actually owns Steinberger now, don't really make Transtraps anymore, if at all. They mostly just use this different design that is a lot cheaper and, to my knowledge, a lot less liked. Really unfortunate, but it's just the way it goes when you're bought out by Gibson. The Washburn Wonderbar. The Washburn Wonderbar was somewhat similar, and could also transpose the entire guitar's pitch, but it couldn't lock. The advertising for this thing was cocky. Very cocky. It straight up said, "Mr. Rose, Mr. Kaler, our sincere apologies." To the surprise of basically no one, the thing was a giant hunk of crap. A Gear Page member by the name of Paka said, "It's really too bad. This trem was almost there. High-quality brass rollers with ball bearings and excellent glide. Heavy 18-ounce block that sits directly on the body for maximum contact and maximum sustain. Anodized metal and finish, which is weathered perfectly for nearly 30 years. But in the end, there's just a couple of design flaws short from being perfect." In the end, at least for me, in my custom Strat build, this is no Wonder Bar. Famous users of this include Ace Frehley and Wayne Campbell from Wayne's World. Something tells me there's a reason this whole thing was phased out and you can't really get it anymore. It's probably because it sucked. The AccuTune bridge. Not to be confused with Morley's AccuTuner, the AccuTune bridge was very reminiscent of both the Washburn Wonderbar and the Kaler. I've managed to find only one instance of this. Surprisingly, it was in the wild. I was at a pawn shop, and I was actually really interested in the court that it was attached to. Speaking of court, I think it was the only brand that actually used this bridge. It could also have just been a court in-house thing. I don't know. I don't know of any player who really used this, and according to most people, it kind of sucked. Or was a mediocre Kaler knockoff. Although I have seen some things state it was pre-Kaler, which I somehow doubt. Also, I couldn't verify this information. The Rockinger. Famously used as Kramer in Eddie Van Halen's bridge of choice for about 5 minutes. It was the first manufactured bridge to use fine-tuners, which Floyd Rose would later adopt. I also think this spawned that Allen wrench behind the headstock thing, which Kramer is used to this very day. I should really get myself one of those. I can't find any reviews, it's all just history. Fun fact, you can still actually buy parts for Rockinger Tremolo brand new from Rockinger themselves. Although they don't sell the entire unit anymore, it's still there. Kaler's licensed Floyds, plus the Kaler itself. So, Kaler used to make licensed Floyds, and they ranged from meh to actual improvements on the Floyd Rose design. The Spider was that thing on 80s guitars that was essentially the Floyd Rose at home. A lot of people hate it. It's why Kaler has a bad rep as mediocre Floyd clones. Spider was used on the HM Strat in the 80s. People like that, I guess. So, the Steeler was a steel Floyd Rose, claiming to have a harmonically tuned plate and slotted string lock bolts. It looks pretty good. It's probably a good thing to use. The Kaler Killer didn't require you to cut the ball end of the string, much like something like an Ibanez Edge Pro. Looking up Kaler Killer just leads me to results of murderers with the last name of Kaler, so I can't really find reviews of the thing. Looks like it works fine. Actually looks like an improvement on the design. And the Kaler itself. This is a unique design compared to the Floyd Rose using a cam system instead of a fulcrum. It's loved or hated by basically everyone. There is like no fucking in between. Although, in terms of reviews, I think I can sum it up as Kerry King jerks off his whammy bar with it. Jason Becker used it for a little while. That's good enough for me. Yeah, I'm not the biggest Kerry King fan, but you gotta admit, the man fucking destroys his whammy bar and doesn't really have to retune, so must be at least decent. Also, there's a Hurricane very similar to one Jason Becker used, and if I could, get that, I would review the fuck out of it and play it a lot, and if someone could buy it for me, that'd be really nice. Sorry for this video taking so long to make. I kind of lost motivation. Content creation really isn't my main thing. At least YouTube content creation isn't my main thing. It's mostly making... Tell me if you want to see a sequel to this video with maybe some things that I missed. I know I didn't really talk about the Ibanez Edge bridges, and maybe there was some things I missed. Stuff like that. Leave a comment, whatever. I'll see y'all later.